Anyway, just to round up the podcast, the latest transfer news we've been hearing. As you know, the second transfer window is now finally back open, and this will run in most parts of the world until the end of August, which basically means 1st of September anyway. So there's a lot of time for transfers to take place over the next 2.5 months. But what are we hearing so far? Moses Simon has completed his medical to move to Paris FC, and his signing and transfer to Paris FC was confirmed yesterday, Wednesday, June 25th. He has signed a 3-year contract and the fee is 7 million euros. Congratulations for the move. We know he's been in France for a long time, I think over 6 years, so he's probably a citizen now anyway. But if we're being objective, at 29, moving for a team like Paris FC that just got promoted, he could say, he was moved by the ambition of Paris FC, but bro, there's something about Moses Simon. He likes to be a big fish in a small pond, man. Like, that's the only thing I can conclude from this, because from relegation battle to relegation battle, it's like that's what he enjoys the most. In any other situation, a player playing for Paris FC who just got promoted to the French League should not be playing for the Super Eagles, if I'm being brutally honest. We know his qualities, but if, for example, someone like Ejuke has a cracking season for Sevilla, and Sevilla finished in the top 10 in La Liga, we can't really argue if Ejuke then takes his spot in the Super Eagles. But we know he has enough goodwill and credit in the bank, so he'll probably still go into the AFCON, maybe as Lookman's backup, more likely. But these are the kind of moves that it just leaves a bit more to be desired, if that makes sense. You could have upgraded your position. It's your final big contract. Can you actually play in a club that has ambitions to play in Europe, or at least try to win big things in leagues? But he's clearly comfortable in France, so you know what? I don't begrudge him. Hopefully, Paris FC can at least finish above none, so we could say it'll be a progressive move for him. But it's an interesting one, but I won't lie to you, it leaves a bit more to be desired. Semi Ajayi, on the other hand, after leaving West Brom decided not to extend his contract in the Championship. He's now completed a move to Hull City. So the 31-year-old signed a 2-year deal. Mind you, Hull City finished mid-table in the Championship, and no offense to Semi Ajayi, but signing for Hull City at this stage of his career at 31 years old tells us all we need to know about his current capabilities. This is a player that was playing the Premier League maybe 4 years ago. In my opinion, he shouldn't be getting called up to the national team. Scored an own goal in our last game against Russia. Not very good on the ball, if I'm being honest. You can see his limitations. And when you have the likes of Gabriel Oshon in Ligue 1, Akpoguma in Bundesliga, you even have Torunariga going back to the Bundesliga to start, Calvin Bassey in the Premier League, we could potentially Wutosi Adarabayo. We have enough players. Even Benjamin Fredericks could end up playing for Brentford in the Prem next season. I think we have enough players who we need to really move on for Semi Ajayi, because, even Igor Ugbo, look how well Igor Ugbo played over the 3 games for Nigeria. So I think it's time to maybe sunset Semi a little bit. He wasn't called up for the previous games until this round of friendlies, so let's see what happens. Also, Leon Balogun, another player whose national team career is done. He's moved to Aris Limassol in Cyprus as a free agent. His former team Rangers didn't extend his contract, but he signed a 1-year contract. Mind you, he's close to the end of his career. He's 36 years old and will turn 37 in a few days. So understandable move for him. This may be the last season of his career, but if it's not the last, it's definitely close, is the whole point. So decent move for him, but we won't be covering what Leon Balogun is doing in Cyprus, to be honest. Kenneth Mero, on the other hand, has signed for Romanian giant CFR Cluj, another player whose national team career, in my opinion, is over. His contract with Kasimpasa was terminated as he fell out of favour. The last game he played for them was in September last year, where he played 60 minutes. So, talk about falling out of favour, 9 months ago. He's the 6th Nigerian to play for Cluj after Ibe Ogbonna, Nwankwo Obiora, Derek Ogbo, Philip Otele, and Peter Michael. So, decent move for him, but wouldn't matter to us, to be honest. He's definitely reached the twilight of his career. But we thank him for his contributions in winning AFCON in 2013 and being part of the squad in the 2014 and 2018 World Cups. Also, I saw an interesting rumor yesterday about, in my opinion, the crown jewel in Nigerian midfield after Alex Iwobi, in the name of Raphael Onyedika. Respected Italian journalist Sasha Tavolieri made a tweet yesterday that West Ham United and Everton FC are currently in pole position for Raphael Onyedika. West Ham is the most concrete offer so far for the Club Brugge midfielder. And Bruges expect a fee close to 30 million euros to make it happen. So this is one to watch. I mean, I love to watch Onyedika play in the Premier League. This is a player that was linked to AC Milan as recently as 2 years ago. So we know he's capable of playing for the big teams. You know, he played in the Champions League this past season and definitely made an impression. You know, I keep talking about watching Ali McCoist when Club Brugge played Atalanta and how impressed he was with Onyedika. You know, I mean, when I think about West Ham or Everton, West Ham have just had a horrible season after letting go of David Moyes. It's crazy how quickly things fall for them. And I'm not so sure about the environment. You know, we saw, what's the Mexican guy who plays for West Ham? I can see his face in my head, but I've forgotten his name. Very, very good defender. He used to be at Ajax. You know, he moved to West Ham and it's not quite worked out for him. I think that West Ham is a little bit like Man United. It's like there's something in the water that just makes players not do as well as they should be. Look at Kudus last season. It was not a great season after he flourished in his first season. So, one to watch. I think Everton is an interesting case. They've got David Moyes. They've got a new stadium that they're moving into and a real chance to refresh. You know, they had a lot of free agents they've let go, whether it's Abdoulaye Doucouré to the Ashley Youngs of the world. So they're literally building a new, fresh project over there. So that may appeal to Onyedika. And at this moment in time, I trust David Moyes as a manager compared to Graham Potter at West Ham. So I'll probably prefer he goes to Everton, but at the end of the day, Premier League is Premier League. I don't think any of these two teams are in danger of getting relegated. And either way, I back someone like Onyedika that if he signs for any of these two teams, he will showcase enough to make them know that, look, his level is even beyond them. But he can do a job for them at the moment.